Subscribe now.
and step into the magic. Hi, welcome to the Woo Woo Ways channel. I'm Om Shri
Calvin?
and Sue.
Hi.
Sue is the founder of Rasabhumi,
Rasabhumi.
which is a therapeutic product from Malaysian rainforest that will help you and has been known to help in the healing journey. Not necessarily just for healing use, but for everyday use.
Correct.
So Sue, welcome.
Welcome.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this platform. So we have this opportunity to share our journey and our products. Thank you. So I lived in the United States for 22 years. So in that 22 years, I work in social services.
Okay.
Social services. I was for 8 years of my life, I work in the community.
That's cool.
Yeah, and in the social the part that we play as a program is that we help youth from age 13 to 18 who are on probation for many reasons. Some of them petty theft, truancy in school, or just
Trouble youth.
troubled youth, right?
Yeah.
So when they come to our program, I realized that most of these youth has mental health issues, and also United States is going through opioid crisis. Okay, so with this opioid crisis, many of my youth are being medicated. Okay, so when they come to the program, whether you have depression issues or anxiety issues or refusing to go to school and things like that, so I noticed that during the assessment that I do, most of them are very heavily medicated with psychotic meds. And so part of my job is, while they are with us for 6 months, we monitor many sanctions that the judge give them, like community service, their urine test, their school that they have to attend, and make sure that they are attending counseling and taking their medication. And one of the things is that if you've been prescribed your medication, say you have bipolar or whatever mental health issues, and if you're not on medication, you can get in trouble too. So, and having being heavily in the community, working with youth, you see that a lot of problems stems from home, and it's very interconnected with their environment, what is the situation at home, and things like that. And so I'm very passionate about my job.
You must have created a lot of trauma working with this. Did you think that you packed in a lot of trauma while working with these?
Oh.
How do you release at the end of the day?
Believe me. I would honestly admit that not only the youth, even I myself was diagnosed with bipolar, depression, and anxiety. So I was also, like some of my youth were taking some of this very heavy dose medication, right?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and so I decided to come home after 22 years. And so one of the things that I observed was that when I came back, I remember walking to get some food, and I saw TCM shop, our traditional Chinese medicine shop. And I said, hey, I forgot about our TCMs, which is, and I started to notice our culture. I think that, when you're plucked away for so long, and then when you come back, your perspective on things are a little bit different. I see things differently, right?
Yes, correct.
And so I'm like, oh my Lord, the Chinese have the Chinese way of going to holistic ways of
herbs and things,
herbs
yeah.
and stuff like that. Even the Indian culture have their own traditional ways, and so does
Malay
the Malay
culture, yeah.
Malay culture. And so, when I observe all this, it brought me back to how much dependency that in United States have with their pharmaceutical industry, where every little tiny things you go
pop
to
a pill.
you go to a pharmacy, you go see a doctor, and everything is pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
So there is no holistic way of healing. And so this is one thing that I observed. But when I came back, I actually went through an awakening. So when I came back, I had a strong urge to get an Akashi record reading. I'm not very, I would say that I believe in God, but I've never really picked up any specific religious way to kind of pray. My mom was a Buddhist, so looking at her and her life, and I told myself, she may be very religious, but then
That spirituality didn't kind of stick with you.
it didn't, because God bless her, she's up there now. That what I took from her was that not only that you are religious, but then the way you conduct your life also matters, because it's not about just praying and then you do everything else that's wrong and everything is okay. So I have adopted, being my mother is a Buddhist and my dad passed away when I was very young, and he's Sri Lankan, so I didn't adopt any of that. So I always have this thing in my heart, like, well, I'm just gonna be a Buddha at heart, as long as I walk this path and do the right thing and don't cheat people and be honest and be compassionate. And I've always kind of adopted this philosophy, in my heart. And so I am a very compassionate person. I do love helping people. But I think through my spiritual healing, thank you to my teacher, Melina. And so I learned about what is energy healing, right?
It's such a big difference from what you experienced there, from being medicated to now you came back.
Malaysia.
Because I'm assuming that when you came back, the medication availability was not there, right? You would have had to kind of manage it in a different way.
Yes, and you're absolutely correct about that. And so I did initially try to find a doctor to get my prescription, but along the way, I was also introduced to the spiritual world, right? And what I learned was that I was very happy because I didn't have to adopt any specific religious way in order to have faith in God. I always had faith, but I didn't have a specific way to go about it, right? And so when I came back, I learned about what spiritual healing is all about, what is energy through Reiki healing and things like that. So then I started adopting ways to learn to overcome my anxiety, my depression
In more holistic, natural way.
in a more holistic, natural way, right? And so that brought me to a world where now I'm seeing things in a very different perspective, right? Because what I understood was that I may be a very compassionate person, but I also need to learn boundaries, right? So all through my life in the United States, I gave and gave and gave and gave and gave, and I became so depleted, so totally depleted. So when I came back, even though intellectually in the United States, I was trained how to work with children, because one of the things we teach them is about cognitive, using your cognitive thinking and feeling, right? So where we teach them, instead of reacting to a situation, for example, maybe a thought crossed your mind, because don't forget, my kids, they are on probation. So basically, when they come, they have 6 months to overcome everything they need to do, right? In terms of school, in terms of doing community service to make up for whatever that they have done. And so, it with the cognitive thinking, we teach them to pay attention to your thinking and your feeling. And once you say, for example, somebody made you mad at school, what example for one of the kids, okay? And if he were to hit back that kid who made him mad, that would get him kicked out from my program, because he can't do any more mistake because he's already on probation. So how do we prevent that, right? So the idea is to teach them cognitively, pay attention to what you're thinking, because what you're thinking is giving you a specific feeling.
Could you apply that when you came back?
Yeah, so that was what I was trying to bring it back all together when I came back here. And I was like, oh, I taught my kids this about paying attention to what you're thinking and feeling. If you're feeling angry, watch for your triggers in your body. Like we would ask each kid, what is your trigger when you're angry? Some will say, I will clench my fist. Some might say I might have hair coming out at the back of my neck. Some will say my face get flushed and all that. Now I teach kids this, but when I came back, it was like through the spiritual world, it was all about the same thing. It was emotions. And then this is when I started to apply the mind, the body, and the spirit. So the mind, the body, and the spirit. And once I could bring all this together into one alignment, I realized that even though I had faith, I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know that, that I was only using my mind, and I was only reacting to whatever I was feeling. And, if my mind was thinking that I'm mad with someone, instead of processing it through my heart, I was just blaring it out,
Thinking that you're, I'm just saying what I feel, I'm just
I'm
saying,
angry.
calling it like it is.
Yeah, just calling it like it is. And so then, with my experience back in the United States, when I came back here and entered the spiritual world, then I realized hey, I've been reacting to so many of my emotions all through my life, that now I realize that, hey, I need to take charge of my own emotions, that I cannot control everybody around, but I can control my emotions. And so that was taking charge of my emotions, which was a very, very big part in my life. Because, emotions are everything, right? And so by giving away so much and not knowing how to create boundaries, you're not really helping anybody, but you're kind of helping people, and people just take your time. And I'll be working till, I get off at work, 6 o'clock, and parents will be calling me at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I will still be taking the calls. And there was just no boundaries. So I came back with such a heavy load, coming back home, and then start seeing, culturally we are so rich in holistic way of healing ourselves. And so my journey started. And when that journey started, that I began to have awareness. And from that awareness, I started, seeing my purpose with more clarity, because, I had so many emotions that I didn't heal. And so, when I started, going into my spirituality, I became with the awareness, it brought me clarity. With the clarity, I saw I saw a purpose. I saw the medicinal plants. And so I was like, oh my Lord. I said, we are such a beautiful country. I haven't been home for so long. And when I was eventually became Teacher Melina's Akashi Record student, and she had told me that she used turmeric as one of the herbs to help heal with cancer and things. And so, and I was like, and I started noticing one thing, that when I went to visit my Indian friend, they had a little pot outside the house with a plant. And I said, what plant is this? They're like, oh, this is really good for indigestion and stuff like that, And then I went to a Chinese friend, and they also grew something at home where they use it as a home remedy.
Yeah.
And that brought me to the interest, that piqued my interest, like all these medicinal plants that has so much properties in it that we are not tapping into. And then I lo and behold, I think once you kind of recognize, like, your passion in what it is all about, I guess I guess I was guided. And the reason why I say I was guided was because I was introduced to a doctor, which I'm not going to mention names, right? And so, and he says, hey, what your teacher, and I told him about the turmeric, and he says, the turmeric oil has curcumin in it,
Okay.
Curcumin. And curcumin is a very, very potent property that helps with anti-inflammation. It's got antibodies, and it's got a lot of properties, healing properties, and you can use it on your skin. It helps heal faster and things like that. And so we started, the doctor and I, we started working and started going into the herbs, and he started coming up with this turmeric is really good. I concur with you with the curcumin things, and that was how my journey started from turmeric. Eventually we grew to our clove mixed with coconut oil, because if you see all my products, they're mixed with coconut oil, because to be honest with you, our ingredients are so potent. If you don't mix them, they are actually very strong, because my products are mainly right now at the moment, I'm working for only external use, right? You may use them because they are natural, you can eat them, but why I don't recommend is because when you open and close, something bacteria may go in, but in a fact that they are actually so natural that actually curcumin, I think with the Indian culture, they ingest it, and it's very good for inflammation and things like that. And so we came out with the clove and coconut oil because it's also very popular in Ayurvedic healing, where they use it for oil pulling, like teacher was taught us.
Turmeric oil.
No, the clove, where they use it for oil pulling.
Which one? Which one?
It's
You want to introduce all the product on the table.
So this is our coconut and clove oil.
Okay.
Okay. So the coconut and clove oil helps with anti-aging, anti-acne, helps to reduce wrinkles, repair stretch marks, reduces toothache. It's very well known for reducing toothache.
Yes.
Skin hydration, and also reduces pigmentation, right? And so this is our clove. And the turmeric is very popular with the Indian culture. It's antibacterial, anti-inflammation, helps with skin lightening, but be careful, because if you use it every day, your skin might turn yellow. And so
Is it turn yellow?
if you use it every day,
Okay.
So maybe
But what
you use
if
it once in a week.
for example, if I take the turmeric powder,
It's very good.
then we just drink it, then do we turn yellow as well?
No, not when you ingest
Okay,
it, but
okay.
No,
you put
you
it on
see,
the
this
skin.
is like a tiny amount.
No.
So I've used these oils,
Okay.
right? And the yellow from the oil is not as yellow from the turmeric from the store.
Okay,
Right?
okay,
Like some of them use like directly from the root, they bread, you know, and then they have this golden glow about them, which is not wrong. I mean, eventually it will fade. With the fading comes the healing, actually. But this one doesn't have that thing. So like you, when I had the burns, remember?
Yeah.
Right. So I actually used the turmeric oil to put on the burns as well.
Yeah, the turmeric oil is really good for reducing scars and pigmentation. Okay, so some people also use it for skin lightening. So there are many purposes for that. And then we came up with Tongkat Ali.
This one I
Okay.
have experience.
Okay, Tongkat Ali. There is a myth about Tongkat Ali.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I
I
wouldn't. I think that it was popularized for that reason.
Okay.
Where they call it ubat tahan lama. To be honest with you, herbs is not prejudice. It works on men and women's body.
Yep.
It's actually really, really good for blood circulation. It has a little bit of numbing sensation in it, so it's really good for body massaging. Like people who are pregnant after they've given birth, it's really good for them to rub it on their tummy. It helps with the angin, ada angin flatulence, and it also helps with the blood circulation. Very good for athletes who has like muscle pain, joint pain. Definitely Tongkat Ali is the guy.
The reason why I say I experienced before, not I experienced Tongkat Ali. I experienced this product, okay, together with the coconut oil. So for your information, I'm the sport massage therapist as well. So I do give massage therapies for the client. So I mean, Sue mentioned to me this product actually good for massage. He give me
Sample.
some of the oil and try and test. So I test on my wife and as me as well on the shoulder here. Literally, we can feel the changes instantly. The numbness is there, and right after massage sessions, like half an hour, after that, you can feel the relief.
Yeah, I can also
Yeah.
attest to that. So, like I was telling you yesterday, I had a huge function.
Correct,
You know,
correct.
lots of work, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, I remember we attended a session where they recommended to put the oil under the
Feed
Yeah.
before you go to bed. Yeah.
So I was really feeling really painful and things like that. But I'm not the type to ask my husband to come and massage my feet and all of those things. Like, he also very malas. So to avoid this thing, I took the Tongkat Ali and I rubbed it on my feet and my back and all that. And I love the heat. It creates
Yeah.
this heat when you rub, and it's like warm, loving hugs. Okay. And I tried it, and I was gonna come here this morning. And I put it on, and that heat that it generated, I just fell asleep. And next thing I knew, my alarm was ringing, and then I was good as new. Now, and I'm not just saying it because Sue is here, but there are many times where these products are so good, but it is not being utilized for the right ways. Like even the slightest pain, like a slight
Yep.
joint pain, just use it.
Yeah.
You know, because this is herbal, so you won't have that heaviness or the residue like the medication that you have.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
You know?
Because remember, medications, it has to be processed by the kidney, right? So it's really bad for your kidney, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, you see, one of the things is, let me finish explaining one more item here, and then I will go further. This is our virgin coconut oil. Now, virgin coconut oil has this property called lauric acid. Okay, so it is really, really good for your skin.
Yeah.
Okay, very moisturizing. It also helps your hair. It also helps dandruff. You know, it's just so many better
I
oil
also
pulling
have
too.
Another story, but you know, what you were saying about these oils, right? And we went ahead of the question, but the oils and its natural properties are, and it using against medication, but of course, it also should come with a warning, should it?
like medicine warning, like as in those medicine,
like
all
using
those
it too
pharmaceutical
often,
medicine.
or should it come with the if the pain persists,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Well, I agree. I agree with you. Okay. So herbal herbs, okay, it's very easy for the body to digest it, right? Because it's not chemical, it's a natural product. So for your body to absorb it, it's very friendly to your product. You recognize that this is part
that's
of
a good
nature.
one. Yeah, friendly.
That's part of nature, right? So the body will digest it without giving you any problems with your kidney to digest it, like harmful pharmaceutical drugs are. Having said that, what I'm trying to bring is not only the awareness of what our rainforest medicinal plants can do for you. It takes time for you to heal. Now, if you need a surgery, then please go to ER or something like that, right? But herbs, what I'm trying to bring is it needs to be like a way of life.
Preventative care,
right? So it's not that you take one time or everything will be healed. You take it as a way of life, right? You include it, which we are very lucky, to be honest with you. You can go and eat curry or any curry, Indian or Chinese. They have turmeric inside. They have all those things that the herbs that is already part of in our diet. But in the United States, they don't cook with a lot of turmeric. So if they are not aware of these, you can go and buy in a pharmacy just the turmeric tablets, which is really good for you. But here, it's already part of our way of life. We eat them every day in our daily diet, and so those are one of the things that came to me, like, why are we not bringing more awareness to what we have in our rainforest, which is natural, and holistic way of living, not depending on pharmaceutical, because right now I can say that I no longer take medication for my anxiety. I'm not going to say that I don't have anxiety. When I do have anxiety, I have learned coping skills. How do I learn coping skills? From spiritually, we learn to meditate. If I cannot meditate, I take deep breaths, right? I take deep breaths. I calm my mind because I recognize when I start to get the anxiety. And so then, we learn coping skills to do with that, right? So those are my oil. I also have sandalwood oil.
Coming up to the topic of coping mechanism, right?
Right.
That these oils
helps me calm my mind.
Yeah?
It helps me calm. Like I put it on my forehead and all that. As soon as I deep breathe, it gives you a very calm sensation, and you can Google it also. And that's why most of my customers who buy my sandalwood oil, it's very good for your skin also, but very calming, very good for meditation. When you want to meditate, it helps you focus, and so many spiritual aspects to this
So
sandalwood
all this
oil.
product is already in the market.
Yeah, it is already in the market.
So what about the other four over there?
Okay, so the honey, I have honey. Okay, so part of my business vision is to initiate an ecosystem where, because part of this honey is where I buy from the Orang Asli and also from the UPM University, where we contribute and collaborate together with Orang Asli, right? And so these are three types of different honey. This is tualang. Okay, it is called tualang because it grows on tualang tree. They're very high up in the forest, and so you really have to climb up there. They are very potent. It has got this bee is wild bees from the jungle, and so it has got a little bit of bitter aftertaste.
Yeah,
It's
very very atas. It's very atas.
Yeah, and so what was the very famous honey that we've been selling that's very expensive? I can't remember on top of my mind. This one is the tualang.
Yeah.
And this one here is Meranti. Okay, Meranti is also another different type. They are a different type of bees, right? And so Meranti is on the Meranti tree. Okay, they are also very high up there. And so these are wild bees that go on specific trees.
This one I ask is, the bee like know which tree that they go to build the honey over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're very high up. You know, these trees are very tall trees.
And the colors are different.
The colors are different. They are wild bees. They are wild bees.
Is because of the tree or because of the bees?
It's different bees and different trees. Like this one is from Apis cerana, the name of the bee. This is Apis dorsata. Different kind of bees.
Okay.
They like to go on different. This fellow like the tualang tree.
Process the honey differently.
I think it's more of the trees where they like to go because it's so high up there, and so I'm not sure why.
There are a lot of environmental factors that are involved and the science behind it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the bees, but that's just why it's named like that. Okay, this is royal jelly. Royal jelly is what they feed to the mother bee. Okay, so it has got a lot of protein in it. Okay, royal jelly.
I love the royal jelly because I guarantee you, that when you taste this, and I've tested it on a lot of people and their reactions the same, you will do this.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm serious. Like you don't have this thing going like when you were a kid and you taste something, it is so sedap.
You're not the only one.
Right.
Everybody, I tried to do that.
We kind of did this experiment at an
yes.
event.
Yeah.
At an event, and everybody we gave it is like, it's true testament that it's actually.
It's got a
natural
sour sweet taste, and so that's why you're doing that, because you're getting the sweetness and then you get a little bit of sour aftertaste. Whereas the Meranti, children loves it because it's purely just sweet. It doesn't have that sour background.
It's really good on pancakes and things like that.
Like you make iced lemon tea, which is great. Tualang is a little bit of bitter taste, so we have, but it's got very, very potent. Anything that's a little bit of bitter.
So it is suitable for kids.
Yes. But depending your children like which type. Children don't really like the little bit of bitter aftertaste, but they love the sweetness of that.
My son harassed her for the honey jam.
Okay, I think I can get one because my kids also not feeling well.
This one, we tried it on what was that thing called? Like the tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you use this, you get that normal honey lemony taste. But this one, right, it gives you that very atas feeling, and you drink it warm. It is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the last one?
Okay.
Yeah.
This last one here, let me just put this back here. This one here is called agarwood. Okay. It's known as agarwood. It's known there are many names for it. In Malay, sometimes they call it gaharu. If you Google it, they also call it the wood of God. Okay. The wood of God. Okay. It has got a smell of. It's been known for its smell when you use it, because I don't have any pewangi or any kind of scent inside. It's natural scent, and the smell of this is called, when you smell it when you use it, which you guys are going to take home and try it. The smell is called liquid gold. That's the smell. It's known for liquid gold.
Can we have a competition or something? If you want a bottle of liquid gold, comment.
The scent is called liquid gold, right? Because when you smell it, if you want to ask, when you use it, Sue, what is that smell? I say it's called liquid gold. That's the natural smell of agarwood. Okay, so agarwood is so well known for the Middle East market, which they buy a lot to make perfume out of it. That is
I never noticed.
Yeah, that's the ibu.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know, just a little bit of fun fact,
Okay, come.
I'm still in shock about perfume, but yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the name of the tree, which I don't remember the scientific name of the tree, and this agarwood tree, and how agarwood came about. And I wish I had the name. I need to Google the name of the tree, how agarwood come about. And when this tree grows, there's a mole that will attack this tree, and then the agarwood will come as a defense system to protect this tree.
Oh.
And that when it's attacking, when the mole is attacking the agarwood tree, the tree, the agarwood resin, which is brown in color, will come and
Eat it up.
kill the mole.
Okay.
So that resin is called agarwood.
So with the power of good and evil combined, you get agarwood.
Yeah, and you get agarwood. And agarwood takes a long time to grow, right? And so because a lot of people are using agarwood oil to create perfume, it is overly harvested in our country because agarwood tree only grows in Southeast Asia. Not even. I think it's Indonesia, India, and Malaysia. So
Is it Asia kind of trees?
yes, and so now even the government is saying that they want to, because it's overly harvested, and they don't want people to go into the forest and start taking it illegally. And so there is sustainability efforts has been created to not to let people to carry on to overharvest our products.
So is this
our
sanctioned
trees.
to a particular group of people, or but this is ethically
Sourced.
Oh, that word.
Yeah.
Ethically sourced.
Yes, it is ethically sourced. But because right now my next project, this is ethically sourced and this is just a regular agarwood. But what I'm trying to go on my next project is to come up with nanotechnology agarwood body shower. And what is nanotechnology? Nanotechnology breaks down the ingredients into super tiny particles. It is so small that they can deeply penetrate into your skin. Okay, so this means it gives you better absorption, better benefits
And
that
the
you can.
cleansing is more
Yeah,
potent,
yes,
thorough.
more potent, and then also because of the absorption, you use less.
Okay.
So why? So now we are being over harvested and sold to Middle East to create perfume, but we as locals, as Malaysians, are not enjoying what our forest is giving us.
Just like we grow the best rice, we import it, send it elsewhere, but then we export all the not so good ones here.
Oops.
But why just general speaking, right? The agarwood or even the oils and things like that. Why do you think we know that it's good for us? We know that our century old blah 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 blah, right? But why is it that we're refusing now? Is the Western culture so penetrated into our system that we are we feel that this is too old school? I don't think it will work, kind of thing. What in your experience when you're trying to pitch the product? What
I
do you
know
get?
I noticed that one of the things that when I am with the orang asli, what saddens me is that the culture in orang asli, those people who knows how to use those medicinal plants, they are dying. Okay, those people.
As in they are in an aging community.
In the
already.
aging community, they are.
Right, okay.
They are very old, 80s, 90s, and even some of the plants that they used to use for healing and all that don't grow anymore. They sudah hapus. And so we've forgotten our old ways.
So the new generation of even the orang asli medicinal people are not taking over. Are they not
Inheriting
Yeah,
Because
are they not
remedies.
the younger generations go out to the city and work. They no longer live in the jungle
space,
anymore. That so it's become a minority now, right? With our orang aslis, right?
Yep.
Because so I think it even happens in if you if you look at United States, one of their very old traditional ways of healing is through the American Indian, or you call it Red Indian,
The native,
the native.
Native. Yeah.
So what happened with their history? If you look back at United history, semua dia sudah hapus. You don't want to go there, but that culture is lost because they didn't do what we did. They didn't keep their orang asli. Instead, they killed them. So there was no new generation to take over all these skills, all these values that they had taught. So now I realize that we have forgotten our old ways. Because why? Advertising, commercialization of things. You want to buy body shower, you go to a pharmacy or you go to a supermarket, you buy whatever that is cheap. But why not use our own product? Because not necessarily if you buy a shower gel, it may be cheap, but there's a lot of chemicals in that bottle itself, right?
Yeah.
But if we can promote our own product from our own land with full of benefits that people are taking it and using it in their country, why don't we value them? We make use of them,
Correct.
This is to kind of add, like even the honey or the oils, the gel. All you need is just a little bit, and coverage is there.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of all this while, maybe those commercials advertise like, put as much as you can,
Yeah.
Those strawberry like toothpaste, for example. Let's say toothpaste, right?
Right.
So we actually take a very tiny kind of portion on the toothbrush, but they do advertisement is like
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Right.
So bring the patient in us is
Right.
no longer there. For example,
Yeah.
like a lot of awareness campaign is not actually penetrate all
Yeah.
this community.
Yeah,
That's why
correct.
people say, tak apalah, get this lah, get that lah, all this
Yeah.
thing. So if this product being properly in the good position of marketing, so I think it's like flying high.
Yeah, the thing is, so my vision is, because I love being in the community. My whole life has been about being in the community, and so I feel like by promoting Malaysian-made products, not only it's not about competition, it's about cooperation, it's about collaboration.
Okay.
So if I want to grow, I don't want to just compete, because to me if I look at it in a spiritual aspect of it, competing is more of mind-based. You compete, and then you become very exhausted,
It's
it's
also
very
tiring.
exhausting.
Yep.
So, but if you look at it spiritually and you work with your mind, heart, and body, right? Like you come from the heart. You look at collaboration and cooperation, because here is where I don't need to have all the talents, right? Let me use my turmeric for instance. So if I can come up with pure turmeric powder, which is not sold on a supermarket where it's mixed with all different things, right? If I am trying to provide pure turmeric powder, for instance, say example, I can go to a farmer or agriculture, somebody who has a land, and I can say, I can rent this land from you, right? Then we can hire people to help harvest the turmeric for us, and then we can tell the peladang that I want to harvest the turmeric at a certain period, at a certain age of that turmeric, because turmeric is very potent when it's not too dry. It has to be a certain age where you can harvest it. So that's why when I said that I want to initiate an ecosystem, this is the way where we can not only help ourselves, but we can help the community. We can help
Create jobs,
create
awareness, there's
Yes.
so many things
So
that are
it's like
interrelated.
So I can lend the land from you. we can hire people and pay them to watch our harvest it. People who will drive it to the factory. People who are cleaning it. So there are all levels that will elevate everybody as you grow. And so that's my mission. And also, this product needs a lot of we need to bring awareness to the community, right? And so that is the direction I think that my vision is, to mission also, because I'm still on the journey. And so so that's what I'm aiming for.
So what would be your parting words? Like, we've come to the end of the episode, and what would be your advice to people wanting to start? Because there is that myth about it being artisanal products or natural products are always very expensive, right? But we have debunked that because it's expensive, but you use a little bit, so it does last longer, right? So what is your advice for someone looking into it and beginning their journey with Rasabhumi?
I would say try the product first, right?
But which should they start with? I think the oils or the honey or the agarwood?
It really depending what are the needs in the family, right? So if you have a husband who's a sportsman who likes jogging or gym work and all that, maybe you can recommend him to use Tonga Ali. But honey is definitely good for everyday use, right? Honey is good for you to take 1 teaspoon every day. For the children, it's good. So that's good for your everyday diet. Like I said, holistic living is a way of life where you combine it into your everyday life. Wake up in the morning, have a teaspoon of honey. Yeah, it's a way of life.
But it's very good design, is it?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. One of the reasons why
it's just like pitching it and just 1 spoon.
Yeah, and the reason why was because I take honey, right? So whenever I'm traveling, that's how the idea was born. When I'm traveling, I do not want to bring a glass jar where I have to scoop up and it's really messy. So the concept was that you can bring this honey to travel. It's portable and you just squeeze it. It's easy. So who wants to carry a jar when you're traveling,
When you get a squeezy bottle.
You can just a squeezy bottle for traveling. It's portable. That was the idea behind it. So that's why I put it into portable bottles.
Thank you for all the introductions of the
thank
product.
you.
So you guys can reach out to Rasabhumi. We'll have her details at the bottom to find out what kind of starter packs that she has, and begin your journey with Rasabhumi.
Yeah. In addition, stay tuned for the next coming our social media posts. We got something special for you guys. We play a game in our social media. See how? Well, stay tuned on our product they mentioned here. So we have some surprise for you guys. All right?
Did you pay attention? Watch the episode again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.